Hi, this is Sonia with Artsy Solutions, and welcome to Seek, Gather, Create Week 1 for August 2024. And it's hosted by Lisa Goodart Art, Tina Hoy's Art, Laura Dennison, and Express Your Artsy Soul. And I'll have links in the description. And it's mainly on Instagram is where you can find the challenge and the challenge information. And I'll have a link in the description how you can do that. So this week's prompts are color gold, plastic wrap, something burnt, and handwriting or asemic writing. So I'm going to make like a envelope, and I'm going to decoupage on a piece of this gorgeous, what do you call it? Paper, tissue paper. So I'm just going to take a little piece of it, and the way I'm going to decoupage it is using the method of using some, actually I need to, well, I think I'm going to make a collage. I'm going to use some book pages and other stuff like that. I'm going to use some saran wrap. There's a method where you can take your take some saran wrap, but first I'm just creating like a spot to safely iron all of this. So I basically have just a tin what do you call it, pan, and I've got my envelope, I've got my piece of saran wrap. Now I've seen videos where if you had a piece of silicone, it would do better, like a silicone mat, because your plastic wrap would actually stick to the silicone instead of like moving around while you're trying to iron. But I don't have any silicone mats, so I have to kind of make do with what I have. So we've got our little plastic wrap right here, and I'm going to decoupage a piece of this plastic wrap. So what I'm going to do to try to keep this in place is I'm just going to take some tape, and I don't know if that's going to work or not, but I've seen lots of various videos on how people do theirs, so this is my first time ever doing it, so I don't know how well this is going to turn out. Gold, I'm going to be using a piece of a GelPrint, and I had used this gold on it when I made it. And then for my writing, well, this has writing on it, as well as some of this asemic writing, which, you know, I like that. So I'm probably going to be using those. And just to decorate, I had a digital that I made from my GelPrints, and I'll have a link in the description where you can get it. And I'll just use little elements from this right here just to kind of decorate my envelope. Okay, and then I'm going to put a piece of parchment paper over top. And basically what that does is it protects your iron, and it protects the plastic. I'm not having any luck with this, so maybe I'm just going to try something different. The plastic did stick, but I'm wondering if I was supposed to put the plastic, do it the other way around. You know what I mean? Well, the plastic isn't completely on here. We're going to do something else with plastic. I'm not going to do this. So, yeah, we'll find another way to have fun with the plastic. Okay, so back to square one. Let's just work out some Mod Podge, because we know that works. So instead of using Mod Podge, I'm going to use glue sticks. because they're quicker. So I'm just going to add glue all over the surface. And we're going to add the paper on here. And I'm just going to add some book pages or bits and pieces of book page on here. And in this instance, I think I will use Mod Podge just to make sure that it stays over top of that. Okay, and then now I'm just going to cut around now that this is dry. And I took the dryer, the heating tool, and I went in and dried this, and when I did it by accident, it kind of got burnt right there. I wasn't planning on doing that, but so that's going to be an extra layer of burnt. But I'm still going to do some burning. So we're just going to cut around the edge of this envelope where this excess paper is. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, I don't have a lighter, but I do have matches. I don't smoke, so I don't have a lighter. Don't try this at home. I guess that's probably the safest thing to say. So I'm just going to kind of like burn these edges a little bit. Like I said, don't try this at, well, if you try it at home, make sure you're an adult or have an adult present. Yeah. It's probably better to use a lighter than it is matches, because you can kind of control it a little bit better with a lighter. I do like that deckled edge. Yeah, I do like that. Alright, well that's burnt. Okay. Okay, so now I'm just prepping some of the extras. I went on ahead and I cut out the digitals, and I'm going to be adding these, or bits of these, onto the project. And I just needed to reinforce them, so I just glued them to some black cardstock. And then basically all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a black pen. You can use a ballpoint pen, you can use whatever, you know. And I'm just going to go around the edge just to kind of like highlight the image. Now I'm just taking this black embossed pen by Ranger, and I highlighted the images, and then I'm just going to take some of this embossing powder, this clear detail embossing powder, also by Ranger, and I'm going to emboss the images. Okay, so now I'm just going to cut these out. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and distress this envelope, which part of it didn't really need too much distressing as far as this part up here, but the rest of it does. Okay, so now for the fun part, we get to start decorating this. I want to add some of this on here. I'm going to put this on some black cardstock. To reinforce it. And then I'm gonna make it into a closure, but I need it big enough and strong enough to where it won't like rip up, because I'm going to put it right in here. So while I let that dry, let's see what we have. I can go ahead and check off we have our color, we have our handwriting, and we have something burnt, and we just need our plastic wrap. So let's see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same plastic wrap that I messed up on earlier, and I'm going to create like a melted flower out of it, if that makes sense, or something that I'm going to have to glue. I'm going to glue down. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of create a shape, and it doesn't have to be any specific shape, but the good thing about plastic is it melts, and it's very versatile. What's the word? Pliable. It moves. You can bend it and shape it and form it into whatever you want. Basically, I'm just going to melt this and see what shape it takes. Just be really careful, like I said, if you do this. And typically when you burn plastic, it keeps that shape at the end. Like, I don't know if you've ever had a shoestring that kept coming undone. and then maybe you needed to just like fix it, and then you just kind of melted the edge of it, and then it stayed, it maintained the end. It didn't keep fraying. Okay, so I think I'm gonna put this here. Let me cut my butterfly out right quick. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make a closure for this. I'm just going to take some of these little dots. And set that there. And close that. And then, you know, you can just get these from Dollar Tree, these little fastener dots. And then I'm just going to glue this butterfly over top of here, because I think it'll look best there. And I'm still trying to figure out, like, what in the world I'm going to do with the plastic. So, okay, so let's turn it like this. I'm thinking I'm just going to wrap this plastic around this magnifying glass, because I have no idea how to use plastic. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. It's just going to get wrapped around here. Because I just don't know how else to use it. And it's just going to become part of the handle. And I think it kind of adds character, you know, a little bit. So let that dry. And then we need to decorate this. I think I'm going to add a piece. I don't need a big piece, just a little. I don't want to take away from the look. All right, so I think we're complete now. So if you want to participate in the Seek, Gather, Create, I'll have a link in the description. where you can access the Instagram pages to these artists right here. And it's once a week, and Sunday is when they start each new week or new prompts. So go over there to Instagram, check them out, and check out the participants. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos, blog, and social media sites. And as always, I thank you guys so much for watching.